Welcome back to Mic'd Up and Misinformed with your hosts Mad Dog and Lunch Money. Today we're going to give out our predictions and picks for UFC Fight Night 283 Medic versus Rodriguez. You ready, bro?
Let's go, baby.
All right, this is not one of the better cards of the year, but I'm always grateful to be having a fight card on any given Saturday. So let's get it, bro.
And it's another early one. I want to say it starts at 7
Yeah, I don't know
for,
what country
for the
it's in.
West Coast.
I don't have it on my sheet, but I know that it's definitely an international fight card.
Yeah, I think it starts at 7 for the West Coast.
Wow. So it might be like in the middle of the night type of
Yeah,
fights.
I think it's 7 a.m. for us for the prelims, and then the main card starts at 10. It doesn't say where it is, like right off the bat.
Okay, cool. Well, make sure you guys get your bets in early. The first fight of the night, we have Marina Spacek versus Stephanie Lusano. Lusano is a minus 330 favorite. Who do you got?
Oh, sorry, bro. They're in Serbia, so I think that's like right off of Russia. That's why.
Okay, interesting.
All right, dude. Sorry, bro.
No, you're
Hold
good.
on. Trying to pull up the thing.
It said on our
Uh,
it said on our app we have 41 minutes to record because of the version we have. So we're gonna try to get this
we're
under
trying.
41.
We're trying. So who was the first one?
Marina Spacek versus Stephanie Lusano.
So I'm taking Spacek, dude. She's got 6 KOs, which is pretty good for a woman, man.
You're taking her as a plus 267 underdog.
Yeah, I'm taking her. Yep. I got her at plus 255.
I feel like a lot of people are going to take Lusano on a parlay, and then they're probably going to take over 2.5 rounds. So if that Spacek does get a KO, and especially before, under 2.5 rounds, that I'm sure that'd be a win for the books for sure. Even
Yeah,
though
dude, for
there's probably
sure.
not a ton of money coming in on the fight in general.
There's just not a lot of girls that have that much, I think this is her first fight in the UFC, so she doesn't have a lot of experience, but even to be knocking people out in the unders, scene is still pretty damn good.
I was gonna pass, bro, but I'll ride with you, man. I'll take Spacek with you. Let's start off
Yeah,
with underdog minus plus 267. That's pretty juicy.
I like it.
All right, next up we have Milos Janic versus Noah Gugnon. Gugnon. It's about a pick 'em here. I'm taking Janic by decision.
Mm, I'm just all over the place, dude. I'm not super ready.
Okay.
Uh, who is it?
It's Gugnon versus Janic.
I don't even know if that was on the card, dude, because there's been so many fights got switched out. Oh,
We
I
we
see.
can let's go to the next one. Next
No,
up
go
we
ahead,
have
bro. Go ahead, go ahead. I got it on here somewhere. I must, dude. If not, I'll just say pass. I'm gonna say pass.
okay. Next up we have Jovan Leka versus Alexander Propek. I believe this is both of their first fights in the
Yeah,
UFC.
both of
Leka
these
is
guys
minus
first.
225 favorite.
I, I'm the same thing. I'm gonna take the underdog, dude. He's got 14 KOs out of his 21 wins. I'm gonna take Popek here. I mean, they both can get knockouts. I think the best bet really is to take the under.
Interesting.
So yeah,
I
under
was,
2.5 is 130. Both of these guys have knockout powers, but I mean to see 14 KOs with 21 wins, 23 wins. I'm taking the underdog at plus 200.
yeah, I don't blame you at all. I mean, I feel like Leka should win this fight. I would have taken him more to minus 150, but the fact that he's a minus 225 lays the value on Propek. So I don't mind taking the underdog in that spot either. I probably will just pass on it, but don't mind the dog at all. It should be more competitive than what the odds reflect.
Yeah, and again, they both can get KO. So I think the best thing is to take the fight, not to go the distance. Oh, and last week, like I had that 4 or 5 parlay with all of my like don't go the finish and submissions, and it hit. That was a nice like plus 3,000 ticket too.
Let's go. I didn't know that. That's fire, bro.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I should have put that one in. Next up, we have Haley Cohen versus Nina Milosevic. Milosevic is a minus 500. Huge women's favorite here.
Huge favorite. She's got both path to victories. She can grapple, she can wrestle, she can submit, she can KO. And Cohen's lost all three of her fights in the UFC. So it's like she was doing good, in the other series, but once she moved up, she just hasn't been able to perform as well. So I mean, you have to take the favorite here. Everything's pointing towards Nina.
Yeah, I think Cohen's on her way out of the UFC, and based off of her previous performances, I just can't back the underdog here. I feel like the odds are a little bit crazy, but
The odds
I,
are
I,
crazy.
it's still honestly almost worth taking Nina in a parlay because Cohen, not only is her performances declining, but I feel like her confidence is as well coming
Yeah,
off a couple losses. So that's going to be hard
100%.
for her to bounce back from. Next up, we have Mateos Rebecki versus Kyle Prepelec.
Yeah,
So we have
Prepolek.
Propek. Now we have Prepelec.
Yeah.
Rebecki, it's showing here is a minus 700, bro. Holy cow.
Dude, which is crazy because he's only won one of his last five fights too. He's got more experience. He's definitely fought better opponents. And Propellic, Kyle's, I think he lost both of his UFC fights. So same thing. It's like you basically have to take Rebecki, but the odds are just they're not great, especially knowing that he's only won one of his last five fights. Not good.
Yeah, 100%, bro. The fact that those odds are that big is crazy. In my
Yeah.
opinion, they're giving Rebecki a layup here because of the hard fights that they've given him, man. They put him through the absolute trenches. And you know what? He's made the fights competitive and he's very entertaining. You know, Rebecki is never in a boring fight. He's
Yeah,
always
he's a
coming out
good
of the
fighter.
fights with either his face bloodied up or his opponent's. He always puts on a show. I feel like the
Yeah.
UFC really did him right by giving him an
A
opponent
good
that he should be
yeah.
able to finish here.
This will be a highlight reel for sure.
Should be for sure. It's hard to not throw Rebecca in a parlay, but minus 700 is crazy, bro.
Minus 700 is crazy.
I was
This
thinking maybe minus like 375, minus 425 max. All right,
I
next up
love
we
yeah.
have Bogdan Grad versus Dennis Bazukia. Bogdan is minus 190 and Dennis is a plus 165. Who do you got?
I like Bogdan here. Again, same thing. He's got 9 KOs. He can fight. He's got a hard head. I feel like it's hard to knock him out. He does get into like those close dog fights where he's willing to grapple and fight and bang you with elbows coming off of breakaways and stuff. So I like Bogdan a lot here. I do wish the odds were a little bit better, but I'll take him at minus 200.
Yeah, me too, bro. I think Bogdan could win by decision or by knockout here. So just putting him in a parlay is more than okay with me. That way you don't have to worry about the method of victory that he does win by.
Yeah,
But I do think he has two paths here. Um, Bazookia does have the ability to put his lights out and knock him out, but I don't see it happening here. I think Bogdan, like you said, it's tough to put him out, and he's a
yeah,
good opponent. I'm taking the favorite on the value here. I'm sorry,
yeah.
I'm taking the favorite despite the odds of being a minus 200.
Yeah, which I mean the odds aren't bad. I just was thinking this would be a little bit closer, but I still like Bogdan a lot here.
Yeah, let's roll with them. Next up, we have Mark Vologden versus Borislav Nikolic. I'm totally passing on this one. I don't really know anything about either fighter. I'm just going to enjoy it and take notes.
Yeah, same dude. This is a pass for me. I don't know anything about either of these guys.
All
There's
right.
just so many fights got canceled, and a bunch of these like undercard guys got thrown in last minute.
Yeah, there's a lot of new guys on this card, so this will be not only for the casuals but for the OG UFC fans. It will be a treat in seeing some of these fighters we haven't seen yet in the UFC.
Yep.
Next matchup we have is Michael Oliveira versus Oban Elliott. Oliveira is a minus 355. First of all, I want to say that I feel like that's crazy because Elliott has more UFC experience here, but
Yeah.
Oliveira is just a beast, bro. He's a freaking unit. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts Elliott's lights out, but I'm going
Yep.
to be honest with you, bro. I would have put Oliveira is maybe like a minus 140, maybe minus 160, minus 355 against a game opponent. I know Oban hasn't looked good in his last recent fight, but dude,
Yeah. The
he's a
last
pretty
couple fights.
well-rounded fighter overall, bro.
Still, I yeah. I mean, I this is one of those times where you said Oliveira should win. He should get a KO, but this could be a humbling experience for Oliveira. he could come in here and think he's going to get the job done and end up getting knocked out himself here. But how can you bet against the undefeated guy who's knocked out 8 opponents out of 9 wins? I mean, Oliveira's
His
he's a
confidence is going
stud, dude.
crazy, and
Yeah,
Elliott coming off of some adversity. Where does his confidence lie right now?
yeah,
So that's the ultimate question. But I
yep,
would say that if Oliveira does lose, I think the sports books would win because I don't think a lot of people will be betting Elliott, but we'll see what happens, man. That's
yeah,
a really interesting fight. If you're taking the underdog, I do not blame you at all. I kind of think Oliveira wins by knockout, but with the odds
yeah.
being that, I'm saying take Elliott or just pass.
Yeah, you basically you have to take Oliveira by KO or the fight not to go the distance. Essentially, one of
Yeah.
these guys will get knocked out, but Oliveira should get the job done.
Next up, we have Ludovic Klein versus Tofig Muzaev. Um, Klein is a minus 255. Yeah, anywhere between a minus 220 and minus 255. Klein does have the experience here. Muzaev, I got to see. I believe he's got to have the youth here. I don't know much about him, to be honest with you. It says he's
Yeah,
26 years old. Wait, sorry. I pulled up the wrong one.
well,
Go
he's
ahead,
great
bro.
on his feet. He's really good on his feet, but he loses the submissions. Like that's his downfall is the jiu-jitsu and the grappling. So I think Klein can do both, right? He can box and grapple. He's more well-rounded. He's definitely had better opponents overall. So I do like Klein here. I wish again same thing. I wish the odds were a little bit closer to minus 200, but I'm still going to take Klein at minus 230 or 250, whatever your book is. I do like Klein overall, but same thing. If Klein gets caught, by all means, Tofik could get a KO. But his downfall is again the grappling and jiu-jitsu. So he doesn't have that in between game yet.
So I didn't know much about Muzaev, but he's 36 years old. So I mean, he's either at or past his prime. He has 23 MMA wins. Of his 23 wins, 18 of them have came by KO. So I will say that if you are going to take Muzaev as an underdog, you might as well just take him on method to
KO.
victory by knockout. So that way you can get even more plus
Yeah,
value because Klein, in all honesty, it's dangerous taking him in a specific method because he could win by sub, knockout, or
or
decision.
decision
But Muzaev really, only in my opinion, is going to win by
by
knockout here if
KO.
you are
Yeah.
taking him. So I'm taking Klein on a parlay, but if you're taking Muzaev, throw him in there on a knockout prop, so that way you can get closer. Instead of like a plus 220, you can get up to like maybe a plus 350, 400 range.
Yeah, I feel like either Klein gets KO'd in the first round or he just starts to wear down his opponent and then just grapples and either gets a submission or wins by decision.
I'm such a tough UFC fighter to watch and evaluate. Number one, he's super entertaining. I always
Yeah,
enjoy watching a Ludovic Klein fight, but at the same time, some fights he looks like a contender, like he should be in the top 10 of the division. And then sometimes I'm thinking maybe he should just be a contender for the up and comers. Like
yeah.
it's hard to. He's not a very consistent fighter in my opinion in terms of where he really lies contention wise because he's so talented.
Yeah, he could easily be ranked between 12 and 15 and stay there. Like you said, I don't think he's in the top five, but he definitely is a ranked opponent all
He
day
could beat
long.
anybody outside the top five on any given night, for sure,
Yeah,
bro, for
for
sure.
sure. For sure.
Yeah, facts, and that's a tough division too. Next up, we have Viesto Chepo versus Gilbert Urbina. Chepo is minus 360. Urbina is minus 289. I do think Urbina has a little bit more UFC experience, but
He
Chepo
does.
is a monster, bro. He's coming in there and
He's a
he's looking to get a
beast.
first round knockout. And
Yes.
I'm buying it, bro. I don't think Urbina is he's not a contender whatsoever. And
He just
Chepo is
hasn't
a
shown
monster,
up.
bro.
Yeah, Urbina just has not shown up, dude. He gets out wrestled. He gets exhausted late into the second and third round. His conditioning's not there. He always comes out really hot and looks good the first round, and then he just fades like crazy. So if he even survives the first round, I think he's definitely getting KO'd. And Kepo's both, dude. Same thing. He's got 10 KOs and 4 submissions, so he can grapple and submit. So he loves to stand and bang. So 100%, dude. Kepo with the win, guaranteed. What are the odds on Kepo?
About minus 330. So
Yeah,
definitely
I
playable in
mean,
my opinion. I think the only question on him for this fight is what does his gas tank look like? Because he does get a lot of early finishes. So
Yeah,
odds makers, because I see him more as a minus 500 to be honest with you, but I'm thinking odds makers are like, hey, you know what? If Chepo doesn't get a knockout or a submission in the first round, what does his gas tank look like in rounds 2 and 3? And
I think
maybe
this
Airbnb
too.
could pick him apart, but I don't. As raw as Chepo is, and new he is to the UFC, I don't think Urbina is going to be the one to expose his weaknesses.
No,
He's gonna get exposed by a lot higher opponent,
I think
higher level
Urbino's not
opponent.
even a low level gatekeeper. Like I think he's just fighting to keep a contract.
Yeah, he's like, again, no disrespect, but more so on his way out. I think we would both
Yeah,
agree.
yeah,
So
100%, dude.
Chepo's a lock, bro. I hate saying lock, but I haven't used it in the last couple episodes, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna say he's a lock, bro.
I agree. I agree.
Next up, we have Robert Valentin versus Dusko Todorovic. Valentin is a minus 160. This is an interesting fight, bro. Both guys are not like, top 15 contenders by any means, but at the same time, they're not really, they're not an easy out. They're not an
Yeah,
easy fight for anybody either.
they're both like sitting right at 500. It's like they're
Middle
good, but
ground,
they're not
probably
good.
more
Yeah,
so towards the decline, if anything.
yeah, they're both. They got to be both aging too, like 38 to 40, I would think. But
Yeah.
I think
So
I like Valentine here with the sub. I think I'm gonna take him with the sub.
yeah, I like Valentin here too. I'm not gonna play him personally, but I do think he's gonna win. I just don't know where Dusko's chin lies.
Yeah,
If it was a couple of years sooner, I would have probably taken Dusko, but I think that Valentin's gonna edge him out here. He could either get a submission or win by decision, so I think he has more paths to victory. So I'm gonna take Valentin, but I'm not super confident about it. I think it's a pretty it's pretty even matchup,
it's
even though
pretty
I think
even.
Valentine
Yeah,
has a little edge. It's a
it
well
is.
put
Yeah,
together matchup.
exactly. It is even. Dusko could win, but I think like you said, I think Valentine edges him out. And again, I think he's gonna win either by grapple control time or just clear submission at some point.
Yeah, I think Valentine's just a little bit more durable.
Yeah.
All right, bro. So we have three more matchups. The next one is Alexander Rakic is making his heavyweight debut versus Marcin Tybura. Rakic is sitting at a minus 350. I'm gonna steal the floor right here and just tell you right now, Rakic is gonna wipe the floor with Tybura, bro.
Yeah,
Um,
baby.
I know Rakic is very injury prone. He's had some bad luck throughout the years with injuries, tough decision losses, tough
Yep.
knockout losses. But I will say he only loses to the best of the best.
Yes, to
Rakic
the
only
best,
loses to the
dude.
best guys. And he was already a pretty big frame for the light heavyweight division. So that move up to the heavyweight division should not be an issue for him. The only matchups I would really like worry for him would be if he was fighting more of a wrestle based fighter like a Curtis Blades.
Yeah.
Maybe Waldo Cortez Acosta would give him some problems. I know Tybura can wrestle a little bit, but he's pushing 40 years old right now, bro.
Yeah. He's fading out
Tybura,
fast, dude.
honestly, if it's not this fight, it's going to be the next one that he gets cut from the UFC. He's had
Yeah.
a he's had a journeyman MMA career, but unfortunately, I think it's just over. And Rakic, I think that was a great move up, in my opinion, to move
I
up to the
agree.
heavyweight division because he's
Yep.
a very talented fighter. And again, he's right there at the cream of the crop, but he just wasn't beating the number one, number two guys. So
Yeah.
why not go to a weak heavyweight division on the back end of your career and try your luck?
And again, I think, like you said, I think he's been getting beat up and the weight cuts add up. I think he's going to come in healthier, more fit. He's eating more calories. He looks good. He looks thick right now. Like, he doesn't look fat at all. He looks like he put on some muscle. I think this is going to be one of his. I think he's going to come out looking healthy and strong. I think we're going to see a whole new Ratchet over the next 2, 3 years.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, and the biggest question mark is health regarding him. A fighter that I would compare him to in terms of where he would rank amongst the heavyweight division. I don't think they fight the same, but I think they're probably about the same level. Would be Alexander Volkov.
Yeah,
He's.
exactly.
I think
Yeah,
Rakic is in
100%.
that range where he probably is in the rankings between like 3 and 7 for heavyweight.
Yeah.
That's where I put him personally.
No, this will be a good fight.
So, dude, lock him up too, bro. No cap, lock him up.
Yep. Yeah, I
Now, all
like
right,
Rakic a
co-main
lot.
event. We have Jan Blashwitz versus who's a plus 252 versus Navajo Sterling, who stepped up on short notice, is a minus 310 favorite. This is an interesting matchup, bro, because Navajo Sterling is on the up and coming. He's on fire right now.
Yeah,
His
28
confidence
years
is at all
old.
time high, and Blashwitz has been there, done that. He's a former champion.
Yeah, he needs to retire. Jan needs to retire already. Bye bye. He's only won one fight in the last 5 years. He's just been fighting for money, bro. He's not even fighting to win, like you said. Navajo's going at it. The only question is, like you said, he's taking this fight on short notice. How much has he really been training, like structured and hard? How much is his conditioning coming in? But by all, I do not see him losing. I just don't know how Jan could get the job done, dude. Honestly.
So I think my biggest question mark for this is if Sterling, by him taking this fight late notice, what does his weight cut look like? Because weight cuts could definitely determine how your performance
Yeah,
is on Saturday. So my two questions for this fight is what does Navajo Sterling's weight cut look like? So on Friday, Thursday, Friday, that'll tell us everything. And then my
yeah.
second question is what does Jan Blachowicz look like with his age? Because he's 42, 43 years old right now. To make an argument with you, Mad Dog, I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, like we were talking about our previous fighter, Jan has only fought the best of the best as well. He's only fighting top
Yeah.
three, top four guys, whether he's winning, winning or losing, and he has had some really close decisions with guys who have went on to beat him. So I think that he's still going to make it competitive, but bro. I really want to take Sterling, but I'm passing on this fight because I feel like Sterling cuts a lot of weight, and even though Jan isn't in his prime anymore, he's a dangerous fighter, bro. He's
Yeah.
like the gatekeeper for the contenders right now. And Navajo Sterling is at that point of his career where is he going to enter the contender phase or is he going to stay just under that top 10? And this will be his deciding fight, so this will tell us a lot. But
I'm not
Blashwitz is
upset.
Blashwitz is a professional, bro. He's been prepared.
He
He's
is.
not taking this on short notice, and
Yeah,
he's going to
that
come into the fight, perfectly on weight. And
it's a short
I'm,
notice. That's the only thing that scares me with the Sterling is him taking it on short notice. It's the only
yeah,
thing that scares me.
I
Because
would.
like you said,
All I'm
Jan
saying is
loves to
I
go
would
to
put Sterling at
decision.
maybe a minus 220, minus 330 is minus 310 to 330 is pretty
It's
high.
high. It is high. I agree with that. But I still like Sterling to get the job done.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting fight, bro, for sure. And then lastly, our main event of the evening, we have UFC Medic versus Daniel Rodriguez. Medic is a minus 400. Rodriguez is sitting about a plus 320. Who do you got?
Oh my god, dude. I am gonna I'm gonna lay the money on D Rod, bro. I just absolutely love Daniel Rodriguez. He just comes in there, he's so aggressive, he's got a different style than most of these other guys. I feel like he does lose by all means, but I feel like he's always kind of just crazy and scrappy, dude. I'm probably betting with my fan heart here and not statistically, but I just love D Rod, dude. I'm betting D Rod, bro.
I'll give you credit. He's a game opponent. D Rod's not an easy fight for anybody. But I will say, I like Medic so much in this matchup. Not only because it's a great parlay piece, it's very easy to hedge if
Yeah,
it is the last leg for that reason.
that's a
But
good
also,
idea.
Rodriguez was in the Mexican prison for like 8 months, bro. I don't care what type of workouts you're doing. Medic was working out with a professional, MMA gym
That's
and
exactly
getting
it.
better.
Medic is like statistically perfect, right? Like you said, he's
Like
all
doing all
about
the
it.
right things.
And yeah, and Daniel Rod is just like a straight up street fighter, bro. I just love his style. Like he just comes in there, he's just ready
He's
to bang,
gangster,
dude.
bro. I'll give him that.
He's
He is
gangster,
gangster.
bro.
But
I
bro,
love it. I
you
just
know
love
what?
it.
His looks are deceiving because he doesn't look his age. But dude, D Rod's like 40 years old though too.
Yeah, he is older too. He's just so aggressive, dude. I just love it, bro. I just absolutely love it. I
He
love
is
his
a
fighting
dog. I
style.
gotta
I
take
love
Medic though,
his
bro. I just feel like D
yeah.
Rod is at the end of his career. He's just collecting paychecks at this point. And again, that type of inactivity, it's one thing to just, not
Yeah.
train as hard, but to be in a prison and only getting, I don't know what his circumstances were, but he wasn't training
Yeah, yeah.
with the same advantages that Medic has had throughout the last year. So,
He's doing body calisthenics. He's doing burpees and push-ups and dips and squats.
Hey, but I will say, bro, if D-Rod does win, that's gonna be a Netflix special, dude.
I just love him, bro. I don't know why. I just love him, dude. Everything
Hey,
about
plus
him is just
400,
great.
those odds are crazy. If he wouldn't have went to
It is
prison,
crazy.
Medic would probably be only a minus 150, minus 160. But with the inactivity, that's why the odds reflect the way that they do.
Yeah, but like you said, I think Medic's a professional, dude. He's doing all the right things. He got all the right coaches around him. I mean that is the I think that's the right bet, but I can't do I cannot not bet D Rod basically. That's just pure fan.
Who would you take, Medic versus Holland?
Oh man, that's a good one too. Well, Holland 3 years ago, but Holland now, no way.
Yeah, I'm just curious because Holland had beat D-Rod in a decision.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
but
You're right.
MMA
You're right.
math, it's easy to justify anything. I mean, you could look at any
Yeah.
crazy scenario.
Well,
So,
just look at like Patty and Gaethje and Saporia. I mean, it's just so hard, dude. You just any given Saturday, you just never know what's going to happen. What version of some of these guys are going to show up. But like you said, I think Medic is a professional, dude. He always is. He's locked in. He always looks the same. He fights the same. Where Rodriguez is just he's all over the place, dude. I think he get like you said. I think he gets in trouble outside the ring. I think he's got some family issues, and then he loses one or two fights. Then he gets his shit together. He wins a fight or two, and then the same thing. It's just like this yo-yo effect of degenerateness.
hey, and Father Time forgives nobody, and you can't keep doing that. D-Rod's tripping, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to our plays, our official plays for the UFC card. I got a banger parlay, dude. I'll let you go first.
All right. I'm not going to do a martingale this week because the odds are pretty high for most of the better fighters that I like. So I'm going to just stay away from the martingale. And I'm also traveling. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to go meet lunch money down in Vegas this weekend. So no martingale. Um, let's see, dude, if there's anything I really like. Normally I do this ahead of time, but like I said, I was crazy. All right, I'm gonna take Sterling. I'm gonna take Kepo. I gotta get one more good one in here. Oh, and I'm gonna take Oliveira. Let's take those three. Plus 120. I'm gonna do that, dude. I'll put one unit on that. And we're up 4 units because like you said, we killed it last week. I think overall I only missed two fights and our parlays hit. The one fight that I said is not gonna go the distance didn't go. So we had some good picks last week.
Yeah, we've been doing great, bro. I feel like every time we give our general predictions across the whole card, we get, I would say, at least 75% right. At least.
At least, dude. Yeah. We click at a
Favorites or
high
not,
percentage for sure.
75-80% clip easily.
Yeah.
All right, bro. So I'm doing a parlay. I'm taking, dude, I'm gonna put 2.5 units on this.
All right.
Um, Rakic and Chepo. It's just to the bank, bro. I know that's probably like a minus 160, but I feel like that's a really safe parlay. And this is one of those weeks where I just wanna I just want to take a little profit and go on to the next week.
Racket. Who was the second one?
Rakic and Seppo.
Bam. Against Urbina. Minus 152. That's not bad at all, dude, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, I know people, I don't say people like us, but people who bet like lunch money, we're only betting like 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe like $50 bets, range. For
Yeah.
people who are betting thousands, they're honestly betting a lot safer. They're betting
Yeah.
maybe thousands on a minus 350 where, because rich people are looking at like, oh, if I'm getting a 30% return, that's great for
Yes,
me.
dude.
But people that bet like we do, we're trying to get like 4, 5, 6 times our money. And in reality, we're losing a lot on these crazy parlays. But the people who do straight bets on the bigger favorites are going to win at a higher clip. A lot
Yeah.
more consistently because they're taking the bigger fighter. Now, if they lose, it is devastating because you're betting a big amount for maybe a 20, 30, 40 max
Yeah.
percent return on a favorite, but you're going to win more often than not. So
No,
that's
I
kind of the
agree,
trade
dude.
off. And
If
if
my
you're betting
stock
like
market
we
jumped
do,
30%, I'd be happy.
yeah, 100%. And if you're betting like $10, $15 like we are, if you were only seeing like $4 profit, $5 profit, it may not look sexy to you. But if you're betting thousands, oh, four, five, $600 profit off a $2,000 bet, that
That's
looks nice.
yeah,
So, you know,
100%.
just keep that in the back of your mind when you do hear our plays, because some weeks we're gonna give out. We've given out plus 5,000 plays, but
Yeah,
when we
and
give
that's
out
what's
these
been
like
happening too.
when we give out these like favorable picks that we're like, hey, we feel pretty locked in about it. Is it guaranteed? No, but it's got a pretty good shot at hitting, to be
Yeah.
honest.
No,
So
that's what's been happening. Like our either our single bets or our two pick parlays have been hitting, and then we've been losing like on the 8 pick parlays by one person, which is still crazy insane to hit 7 of 8. So again, we're
yeah, and
making
I mean,
great
we're only
bets.
bet like a tenth of a unit on these crazy ones. We
Yeah,
bet higher on the more favorable plays, but
and
still, it just
that's
shows
part
that
of it too.
we're hitting at a high percentage. If that was going in a round robin, we would have profited a pretty good amount.
Yep.
So,
No, I think that's good, dude. I think we killed it. Yeah, this is kind of a weird, wacky card. Again, like you said, there's a bunch of new fighters that haven't been in the UFC or just have one or two fights or coming off a contender series. But I think overall, it's still going to have some exciting fights and a couple of good knockouts. So, I mean, some of these guys are definitely game opponents. So we're not just going to see, grappling for 5, 10, 15 minutes.
yeah, and also I know there's been a lot of like flack about UFC pay for the fighters throughout recent years, but I think that with the bonuses going up to the 100,000, I feel like it definitely has enhanced fighters' motivation to go out and get finishes,
Get the finish.
especially for the ones on the prelims who need the money more so.
Yeah, no, I agree, dude, for sure. Yeah, it is hard because like you get someone like Conor McGregor who's making I don't know 30 million a fight, and someone else on the same card who's making like 12 grand. There's definitely a imbalance, but people show up for McGregor. People tune in for McGregor, so it's like you got to get that status too, to be able to get that pay. So I understand both sides of it.
Yeah, and I think my perspective, like just with the mindset of more on the content side of things, like in the UFC, you really have a platform to build your name up. Like in the NFL or NBA, there's so many sponsorship things to where
Yeah,
you may not be able to do certain deals with companies because the NBA, MLB, whatever is really strict. Where so the UFC, it's a lot more freelance. Like the
for
UFC really
sure.
encourages you to build up your social media brand, to
Yeah,
find sponsorships, because you are like essentially a signed free agent. You get paid for when you fight, you get the opportunity for bonuses, but at the same time, you get the opportunity to hustle to get your own money. It's kind of like being a teacher, and in the summertime, if I want to work and make more money, that's my option if I want to do that or not.
yeah. No, I agree, dude. No, I love it. So even with these bets, we're still up basically a unit overall. So we're in good place still, man.
All right, and then we'll have a lot of content over the weekend. Check out on TikTok, local to global, and also check
Yeah,
out Mr. Webb's LV. We post a
yeah.
lot of content off of our traveling experiences. We do local food reviews, cool things that are going on in town. Whether you live in Phoenix, or sorry, whether you live in Tucson or you live in Las Vegas, this is the perfect content for you. Or if you just like traveling, we both travel the West Coast and internationally when we're able to. So
Yep.
definitely check us out on TikTok. This weekend specifically, we'll be doing content on. We'll be paddleboarding at Lake Las Vegas, which is a hidden.
Yeah.
People in Las Vegas have never heard of Lake Las Vegas, and it's a freaking gym. They got restaurants,
I can't wait.
boating equipment you can rent. It's a great spot. And then we're also going to go to this newly opened museum of ice cream. And I just know we paid a pretty good amount for the general admission, so I'm hoping we get a freaking boatload of ice cream.
Yeah. I'm gonna eat till I get diabetes, bro. I'm gonna be throwing up by the time it's over.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my money's worth. That's for sure.
Yeah, this will be a great weekend. So yeah, I agree. Follow for the content, dude. I love the plug. This will be good. We're gonna have a lot of fun this weekend. That's for sure.
The show. Bye, guys. Mic'd up and misinformed. Those are our plays this week.